establish i-continuisha ke ngento yentoba hamba senze nantoni na makasondele uCouncillor waka-14 amkele lenginginya ikule component part yale program pha estation besamkelwe nguCouncillor wapha kuhle ke nalapha samkelwe ngowalapha uCouncillor Umbulelo Quphe Ward 14 abazawuthetha ke with an exception katata uMavuso bazawusondela kule ndawo ndime kuyo kuba our own partner radio station iNkqubela want to capture yonke into esiyithethayo ithi ke lonto kufuneka sibe kufutshane nale recorder yabo ilapha etafuleni ndisondeza wena ke Councillor Mbulelo Quphe ukwenze basiqhube for this better tomorrow. The chairperson of amaqhawe ethu umzolisi Gyasi makasondele ngaphambili mainly azokwenza the necessary roll call so that izithethi zibe clear indoba ngobani ke abo abazenza idini sibe kule meko sikuyo ngoku okanye sibe sikule nkululeko udlangothi uphaki engaphelelanga bake ise-political power bakhona abantu bebesihlahlela indlela ngaba ke umzo as a responsible chair of the organization that is a co-host of this commemoration event / anniversary yeminyaka thini isiXhosa ayisosiXhosa u70 mos amashumi asixhenxe ku70 ke lo mzosondela ngaphambili silunge lamfana wasekhwezi lomso ilunge le dancing group yalapha kwa14 ndawonye ke balunge naba bazawusifundela i-freedom charter basifundele nala mithetho mithandathu. Over to you mzo.
Comrade Monk, just in 5 minutes. Oh. Just in 5 minutes, Comrade Monk. Thanks, Bulisegi leadership, Bulisegi veterans, Zombuto Sizwe. On the 6th of April 1952, newly elected apartheid government was celebrating the tri-centenary of the arrival of Jan van Riebeeck. That's probably the event that was attended by the young President Thabo Mbeki and his younger cousin. Hence the lashing, hence the hiding by the uncle in Queenstown. The ANC and the Congress movement called for a boycott of these celebrations and instead called for a national day of pledge and prayer. In a mass rally held here in Port Elizabeth, Professor Z.K. Matthews told those gathered here that, I quote, only the African people themselves will ever rid themselves of political subjugation, economic exploitation, and social degradation. After the boycott of Jan van Riebeeck's celebrations, preparations were made to launch the defiance campaign on the 26th of June 1956. On Sunday, the 22nd of June 1952, was declared a day of volunteers The following volunteers I'm about to read signed the following pledge. I quote, I, the unassigned volunteer of the National Corps, do hereby solemnly pledge and bind myself to serve my country and my people in accordance with the directives of the National Volunteer Corps, and to participate fully and without reservations to the best of my ability in the campaign for the defiance of unjust laws. I shall obey the orders of my leader under whom I shall be placed, and strictly abide by the rules and regulations of the National Corps framed from time to time. It shall be my duty to keep myself physically, mentally, and morally fit. Zanicela, niphakame as I read the names of our heroes and heroines that passed. Professor Z.K. Matthews, Dr. Govin Beki, Dr. Njongwe, Raymond Mhlaba, Douglas Kyukyu, Nondoma Nkahla, Nangoza Jebe, Sipho Yina, Lillian Diedrichs, Wilton Mkwaye, Reverend Chume, Wilton Kayingo, Zaifani Kame, Vukele Chiwula, Mobs Grichana, Sipho Hashe, Harry Kwala, James Boy, Joe Marty, Zinakile Mkhaba, Vuyisile Mini, Rufus Nzo, James Ngondela, Ntutuzela Mabhala, Athlete Mabuda, Hilda Chaka, Zontobeko Ngalo, Ivy Gcina, Gilbert Yona, Zola Nqini, Stanley Mabizela, Silas Mthwangana, Baya Khame, Mama Mbunye, Florence Matomela, Fanele Mbali, Caleb Mayekiso, Simon Mkhalipi, Vuyisile Thole, Benson Fihla, Edgar Ngoyi, Snukwana Malgas, Henry Fazi, Nowethu Mankahla, Dipuo Kondile, Silas Nkanunu, Daniel Ngondongeni, Nolali Mbense, Wilson Kayingo, Samuel Jonas, Jacobs Kundla, Jackson Dongwe, Nomine Mbikiwa, Zolile Pityana, Spito Ngapayi, and Comrade Gobo. I thank you.
Viva the African National Congress, viva! Viva the Communist Party, viva! Viva COSATU, viva! Mayibuye! Mayibuye! Phambili nge-Veterans League, phambili! Phambili ngamaqhawe wethu, phambili! Phambili nge-Youth League, phambili! Phambili nge-Women's League, phambili! Mayibuye! iAfrika. Kulungile Comrade Monga xa ungu-program director usuku utyumbe nje ubuhlanti bobakho usuku ukhwaze ngendisiletyekisiweyo. I don't think ndiyiyo uba mayize apha ngaphambili. Akukho nto ke ndizayibaleka uba kuthiwa ubhaxamu waqhelile. But okokuqala mandenze amazwi ombulelo kwiinkokheli zamaqhawe i-Veterans League ukuba ibone kufanelekile uba kwenziwe iprogram lobuhlobo. Ndizayidibanisa ke, ndizawufaka isiNgesi, thetha kakhulu esiXhoseni. Ndibukele njengoba sihamba sisiza apha umbono omhle that resembles the history of the country, that identifies into kokuba sifikelele njani kule ndawo sikuyo. Omnye nomnye umuntu uzawucinga uba le mina ibalulekanga, but ibaluleke ngakumbi kulutsha kuba isabalulekile nakuthi ukhunjuzwa ngexesha apha endleleni siba namabatha ukwenzela uba lo mabatha siwaqokelele sibuyele enyanisweni duzuba mde nanjengomuntu othathwe kwathiwa ngena xam waqhelile. Just 3 areas Comrade Mben nenkokheli zasekhaya andilazi igama lithi bona fide ithi lesixhosa ngumxhosa re ngawutoli ke
nabantu bam lento
okay isingesi side ngakasana
yeah
okay oh linzulu eligama. Again, in that process, one needs to present the political and historical context. It's important that we present that so that abantu bazi into kokuba why the ANC, why the Women's League, why the Youth League, why the Veterans League. One of my precious view endithanda ngayo ANC ukuba ime ithi one of the issues critical in the ANC to change the country is to ensure that ANC ihleli into yoba ine human rights tradition. Human rights tradition. It will continue to ensure that in its programs, it supports the dignity of human beings. But ithetha ke lonto within the context yokudilishana ne-oppression within the struggle, which talks about the racial discrimination. Ubuyayifundi freedom charter le yonke. Funde yonke uyicengeleze. Uzawuphuma kwindawo ethi ekugqibeleni yokuhlukunyezwa komuntu omnyama apha engengomntu kweli lizwe. But my critical area endiye ndizomelele ngazo naxa ndizibona uba ndifuna ubhuda, it's when a 28-member committee of the ANC was established to facilitate the process, the African claims. Was kulapho sakwazi khona ukwazi uba kanti kubhekwaphi, because abantu bayabuza belizwe uba masithi sikhululekile sizawuthi sifuna ntoni, xa sikhululekile kuza kwenzeka ntoni. Inkokheli zeli lizwe, and most of them came from Port Elizabeth. Most of them came from Port Elizabeth. Abanye Kaladoke or James Kalada apha Eastern Cape becacisa into kuba this committee must establish very clear human rights areas of focus. There comes the Freedom Charter. Akukhange nje ukubone kwemenye imibutho, andithethi ngeminye imibutho ayikho apha. Vele umuntu athi hayi thina sizawuthatha umhlaba. Awuthatha umhlaba thina. A question that you need to ask, where do you come from? What was your program? Where did you establish that process for you to do it? And how are you going to do it? Inembali, ANC, inentsusa, the political context. Yokokuba, where do we come from? The issues of land are within the African claims. The issues of land are within the Freedom Charter of the ANC. But what was then became a problem is how the ANC articulated the issues of inequality of women, where they had no opportunity. They were oppressed in all their areas of formations. And then the plan was, how do we make sure that the Women's League, the women without saying the Women's League, the women participate in the program. Sinomama kuliqhawe elikhulu la lapha. Mamnondwe andithi aningawo. Florence Matomela. In the process to establish a freedom charter, apho establishwe a lot of imingcili ekwaziyo mobilize and campaign towards the freedom charter. Ayizange isuke ifike lamini ne freedom charter. There were programs, there were campaigns to ensure uba abantu bayayazi lento bayifunayo. Florence went to Bloemfontein to address the issues of land. eBloemfontein wayeyinxalenye yalo mingcili yokuqiniseka into yokuba umhlaba ubuyele ebantwini bawo amapasi asiwaphathi ezweni lethu. Imagine ilizwile lakho uzoxelelwa ngumuntu wangaphandle ohlike yapha airport kanye elwandle athi phathana amapasi kutsho mna utsho kuni apha ningaba lapha kuphathe lo mapasi kucabonge nalo yavalelwa. Then the women's sector led a delegation iyoxoxa ngalonto ba how do we deal with this particular matter. Inyani lento lo benefit esingesi ndiyabulele endaxakwa sigesi sithini kuba leligaba yinyani into kokuba iANC. That's why iWomen's League funeka iqala ibe ne-membership ye-ANC. Khathesi ubani uthini kuxoxwa apho kuthiwe i-autonomy ithetha uthini into ye-autonomy. Awuzukwazi uthi autonomous clearly when we have to first have i-membership yomnye umuntu. Awukwazi khona lo muntu kufuneka umhloniphile phambi koba uthi uphumelele egqathu uyovova kulaa muntu uba di-right. Akho nto wrong kuloo nto. So one of the issues that became very clear to us is when the ANC appointed uCharlotte Maxeke ngo-1918 yoba makakhokele iBantu women's sector yamakhosikazi kukwazeke uba kube khona i-structure sabafazi. Abafazi bazozixoxela into yabo. I-ANC has opened up for everyone within the human rights tradition of the African National Congress. Uba bakwazi ukuchaza uba babetha kalaphi. You can imagine indlela wayicacisa ngayo kwi-social conditions zabafazi belilizwe eForte ebizwe kwi-association ne-federation nabantu abamhlophe esethi nina nazinto nonwabile lapha ufuna uxela ngabafazi balapha eAlice nihleli nabo. You do not know them. Ake sibize enye inkomfa sizocacisa into yoba umfazi walapha umfazi ovanjani overshoe. Conference that happened in 1937. Critically in the process, ukuthi iANC has led a complete liberation struggle in the country. And all sectors ezikhoyo within the ANC are identified in the Freedom Charter for them to participate and benefit in the liberation struggle of the movement. This Freedom Charter ayizanga uba izele ubani, izele kuthi sonke, and we've got to have a very clear responsibility on how best do we maintain orderliness in ensuring that the Bill of Rights which emanated in the Freedom Charter. You say by man wethi into le NDR kaloku is an operational program ye Freedom Charter. Freedom Charter is the principles and policies, your direction. There comes the National Democratic Revolution, which speaks to us on how best must we implement the Freedom Charter. Siyavuya namhlanje tata umongi uba nathi singamakhosikazi siyinxalenye yale program, a program which is led by the ANC from 1912. Yeke uba zange singene kwi-leadership ka-1912. Any home, xa iqala into, does have challenges. But the fact that ANC saw that saniki auxiliary status, and at the end, saniki membership. Ngoku, singombona uzihlanjiwe ngoku. Ngayithetho ithetha ujiraffe. Sima nawe nje staging. Asinanto. Sima nawe uthi xa usithi ngapha sithi ngapha giraffe. Not ngapha. Because the ANC made it happen that isizwe sonke equally should be liberated. Women are free. Ungabona pha eParliamente abaphathiswa bangabafazi bamamele xa bepresent about social issues and economic issues. Uqonda uba ngompondo ohlanjiwe. The only organization that made them to be sibe nje ANC ayikho enye into. Samamele African National Congress, and we became empowered and empower ourselves to ensure that we are able to facilitate programs to improve the social conditions zabantu bakuthi. So the Freedom Charter that is being celebrated here today, umpondo ohlanjiwe, uye yakhaba indlela ukubheka phambili ukuze elilizwe likhululeke. Siyabulela kulo maqhawe ebengaphambili uthi akwazi usinika into kokubana abantu bafuna urhulumente onjani. Impendulo iFreedom Charter xa besitsho wathi uqhuma makubekho la committee yenze iAfrican claims ne-demands, imani ihambe iyothetha kuthiwa ngoNtamuzi Lukhuni. When Xuma presented a clear understanding, xa bengavumi, wathi mani madoda, we are here to claim the world order democracy. Awukwazi uxoxa ngoba uthi ufuna sinika umhlaba walapha eSouth Africa. Singabelizwe. We are claiming the world order democracy, and there is no way into yoba thina singaxoxela ufinini apha kuthi. So that is why ke elilizwe likwazi unyuka libheka emazweni la formisha treaties, la formisha zonke ipolicies ne-agreements zoba kuzawuqhutywa njani na. But what then is left to us? Izoyeka sihlala. Siziphatha njani thina? Ilapha into ilapha kuthi. Community nodumiso. Siziphatha njani? You see, because ingxaki yeyoba ingxaki sithi man. Ingxaki sithi maqabane. Ujiraffe xa ithetha phayana ndathi makakhangelelwa amanzi asele. Xa iyeka ndathi besafuna amanzi usele. You see, because uyavakala, we emotional about the issue. Sasihamba ko Amsterdam, Sweden, PPP, siyo fundraiser that asset. Awukwazi ungena phangoku, yaxheleka kwindawo ekuyo ngoku. But what has happened to us? Kwenzekeni? How do we make sure that we restore the Freedom Charter articles and the focus areas that we fought for? Siyenza njani ma comrade? Usukela ngoku. Ndihamba nomnye ucomrade apha emotweni, mane ndixhela. Ndithi kwethula, thatha amanzi usele. Sela, suthetha. Because andazi uba yiphi indawo ekunokuthethwa kuyo to correct the situation today. I don't know uba kungathethwa phi. Where do we make sure that our Freedom Charter resembles very clear what the ANC fought for? Akuhlanga maqabane. Ukuhlanga. Kuhlanga kakhulu. Ndithi kuye inoba ingaphi ingqungquthela enoke kuxoxwe kuyo yi-ANC. Is it because perhaps i-character ye-ANC is not well structured to lead the state? Can we engage in a debate? Is it the character of the ANC that is not well structured to lead the state. Uphinde onakele. Khona umuntu wathi kum, okay masidilize ANC siphinde senze enye into yokulidisha. That ay phinisele emva. But the question remains, sibheke phi? Sithini? Where must we go? Yephi ngithele sinuke siyo that uMavuso siyothetha ngathi. You see, because it clear yonke into, how must we perform to ensure that the principles of the Freedom Charter, the national democratic operation policies are being implemented. But kutheni kunjinjiji? Ngalo mazwi siyabulela kakhulu sihlalo ngengqungquthela enhle kangaka esiphindisele emva nesicingisayo kodwa kwaba ke noko sivile amandla malibongwe.
Awungena umdaniso, ngena umdaniso asinaxesha. Ndeza u-executive mayor naye azokugcwala emswaneni with her solidarity message. Umama Eugene Johnson, our executive mayor, can she come forward and render her item? Ulunge will hope to recite one of the paragraph of the Freedom Charter. Is a executive mayor. Yeah?
Program Director, good afternoon. Someone asked a question. In your organization, why do you sing? When you lift out your fists and dance, what do you really mean? He said, we sing because we're happy. We sing because we're free. Because those who laid their lives down, who we call heroes and heroines, did it for us. And that is why we sing. We always sing because we're happy and because we're free. Dr. Msimang, leadership of the ANC in the region, leadership of the SACP present here today, the Veterans League present here today, who organized this program with Amatawe Foundation, other leaderships that I missed to call, former mayors of the Metro. Yeah, we have former mayors of the Metro, Comrade Giraffe, Dr. Mapazi, and Ombeni is here today, councillors, and the entire leadership of the ANC, comrades and compatriots. Program Director, we assemble here today to recall the fateful Tuesday of 26 June, 70 years ago, when brave women and men inaugurated the Defiance campaign through a massive national protest. This was to be a launching pad for political action against racist and discriminatory laws of the Nationalist Party government, which has won elections in May 1948. The Defiance campaign was a significant turning point in the struggle tactics of the liberation movement. It marked a departure from the peaceful and sometimes pacifist tactics, which includes petitions and representations. The change of tactics signified the Defiance campaign drew its inspiration from the program of action which had to be adopted in December 1950. Just more than 18 months after the Nationalist Party won its racially exclusive elections and started introducing its policies of racial segregation. The change of tactics signifies the Defiance campaign, and we should not forget about that. The program of action was to be characterized by mass action and open defiance of policies which discriminated against the black majority of the population. On 26 June the 26th of June has a special significance for the South African liberation struggle. It was on this day 67 years ago when people of South Africa came together at Kliptown where they adopted the Freedom Charter. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the democratic government institutions of which Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality is a part would have not become a reality without the struggles of the unsung heroines and heroes who paved their way in the Defiance campaign and the historic Kliptown gathering of 1956. It is against this background that I wish to take the opportunity to express, on behalf of the residents and the ratepayers of Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality, a message of solidarity to the organizers of this event. Amakawi, we have heard you. We have heard your cry on the state of vandalism. I have observed the sewage in one of the streets that affects 4 houses in one street, and that has been there for 2 months. We have heard Comrade Chair, former Chair of the region, Comrade Giraffe, and former Mayor, your cry about the houses close by the area of the Red Location Museum. We have taken note of the illegal dumping sites in the area. The state of the area is hilarious, it's unhygienic, and it's unacceptable. This week, I'll be meeting with all the councillors in this cluster so that we can discuss the state of this cluster. We will discuss vandalism. It cannot be that people cannot enter their houses because of sewage for 2 months. We have councillors in this area, and this week we'll be having a meeting in my office to discuss the state in New Brighton. It cannot continue this way. Chairperson and Program Director of this event, leadership of the Veterans League, I am pleased to note that you have a successful program. This is history in the making. Continue, bring it to Helenvale and bring it to Bloemendal. Take it to Colchester and take it to Motherwell. This is the first phase. This was a success. You've just made it. You've hit it. Continue. I bless you and I thank you and I salute you. Thank you.